Hello guys, back again with the Alrasta channel. And this time, as always, we will be back to talk about the best Donghua series, and of course, it is SwallowedStar. In the previous episode, we saw Bai Kaluo, who showed his contribution when the bald alien entered the mechanical race spaceship filled with deadly laser traps. And in the end, Luofeng's side managed to get a superplane equipped with these powerful weapons. There was also a slight conflict between Luofeng and the Botre family aliens who tried to take ownership of the Earth, but they were easily stopped by Bai Kaluo alone. From this, it is enough to show that in the future, there will be stronger aliens trying to take over the Earth. Then what efforts will Luofeng and his friends take to overcome these problems? Okay, without lingering, let's go straight to the storyline. Amidst the events of the debate with AI Lord Wu, Babata suddenly had an idea, and it was still related to the Qianwu auction invitation that Luofeng got when his money reached a total lift of 10 trillion cosmic coins. It was said by Babata that it was a high-level auction event, and there were a lot of valuable items there. If Luofeng got some useful items at the Qianwu auction, it would definitely help Luofeng increase his strength. Without lingering, Luofeng and Babata were already at the location of the auction through the virtual universe. In that place, there were already tons of people from all walks of life, ranging from the richest to the wealthiest in the universe. Of the 182,000 auctioneers present, 100,000 were Sector Lord level warriors. Luofeng was now among the powerful people who were part of the Qianwu Empire. After dividing the money with his team, Luofeng's balance was now 4.3 trillion cosmic coins. He was confident that, with that much money, he could bring home some useful treasures. After the program was opened by the host, we entered the first treasure. For starters, everyone was presented with a star galaxy, the Tana Star Galaxy, which contains a total of 668 galaxies. The vast territory was previously owned by an undying figure that was opened at a price of 300 Hun Yuan. Hun Yuan became a currency that was again very unfamiliar to Luofeng, and Luofeng had a bad feeling about the original value of the currency. Babata explained that 1 Hun Yuan was equivalent to 1 trillion cosmic coins, which meant that Luofeng now only had a balance of 4.3 Hun Yuan. It was only the first bid, but Luofeng was already faced with an offer that cost hundreds of times the money he had. It made him very dizzy if it made him confused about whether he could bring home valuable items from the auction or not. Babata said that if Luofeng was short of funds, he would have to make a plan first. And rest assured, because Babata had previously managed to find some treasures that matched Luofeng, as well as the money he had now. Among them were Yongshin Bing, worth 0.5 Hun Yuan, Demon Killer Clan Skin, worth 1 Hun Yuan, and Lanka Fruit, worth 0.1 Hun Yuan. Yongshen Bing is said to be one of the 9 most powerful divine weapons for mental masters. It is made by the combination of the 2 original laws of gold and space, and has 9 shape changes. It is said that if one can use the first form of the magic staff, then they are considered invincible among star-level warriors. The first form of weapon was a stick, 2 meters long and 15 centimeters in diameter, which contained the secret techniques of the laws of gold and space. The second form is the illusion sword, formed from 9 golden swords that have reached the threshold of the golden law itself. The 9 golden swords can also be combined into a short sword with a length of only 33 centimeters. But its domain can be expanded with the power of the golden law. While the 9th form is said to be very epic, Yongshen Bing will turn into a golden great sword and can only be used by those who have reached the undying level. And that was the first target item that Babata had chosen, and there was one that was no less great than Yongshen Bing, the Demon Killer Clan Skin. On top of the skin was a coating of space power that could help Luofeng master space techniques in the future. Moreover, the Demon Killer clan itself was an extremely powerful assassin clan in the universe. And if Luofeng could obtain it, then Luofeng could utilize the skin to create a new clone with incredible strength. Now that Luofeng's Golden Horn transformation had reached the universe level, he was already qualified to create new clones. This one item had quite a lot of benefits if Luofeng could obtain it. Next was the Lanki fruit. This fruit was very beneficial to the growth of a plant, so it would be very useful for Luofeng and Hong's rattan-rubbed cloud as well. Luofeng felt a bit unsure about being able to get these three items, which were quite expensive. "Take it easy," said Babata, who reminded him that Luofeng had previously invested in his younger brother. So just ask the younger brother to return the funds and interest at once. We move to the planet Bing Lan, a cold planet that is home to Nolan Shan. At that time, Nolan was watching the footage spread by the aliens freed by Luofeng earlier. After seeing the contents of the video, Nolan was extremely furious and wondered exactly what tricks Luofeng was using. Not only did he defeat Davin, but Luofeng could also make Bai Kaluo, his trusted disciple, turn treacherous. Since his combat power was now weakened, Nolan then made a call to the 9th princess. The princess could immediately understand that Nolan's reason for contacting her must still have something to do with the Earth. It was a pity for her because, in order to get the life planet, Nolan had already suffered a lot of losses. And maybe now, Nolan Shan no longer has a reliable card. That's why he contacted the princess to ask for her help. Somewhat in denial, Nolan said that he still had the main card. On the other hand, after the battle that took place in the world within the world, the Imperial team also lost many of its troops. Meanwhile, Nolan still had assets that he could use to help the princess recover from her loss. That was why here, Nolan Shan requested that the 9th princess listen to his complaints for a moment. The scene returns to the ongoing auction event. Until one of Luofeng's targeted items, the Yongshen Bing, finally appeared. The divine weapon was priced at 1.1 Hun Yuan, which was higher than Babata had expected. Since quite a few people wanted the weapon, the price continued to rise. It stopped at 3.4 Hun Yuan. Before raising the price to get the weapon, Luofeng took a quick breath, and after he was sure, he raised the price to 3.6 Hun Yuan. It was Luofeng's good fortune to get it because after raising the price, no other participant dared to. Luofeng was declared the owner after the third knock on the host occurred. And the next treasure bid, unexpectedly, was also Luofeng's coveted item, which was the Demon Killer clan's skin that opened with a starting price of 1 Hun Yuan. In the course of the auction, the price of the item would continue to rise. And according to Babata, Luofeng should have at least 3.5 Hun Yuan. But now he only had 0.3 Hun Yuan left. To solve Luofeng's next financial problem, it would depend on Luohua, who was playing the universe version of stocks, not the Earth version anymore. Currently, the shares purchased by Luohua have reached 3 Hun Yuan, and it can be seen from the stock chart that it is still rising. So Luohua asked his brother to wait a little longer. After waiting for a while, Luohua finally sold his shares. When Luofeng's balance increased to 4.2 Hun Yuan, the amount owned was now more than the amount Babata had targeted earlier. Babata said Luohua was indeed worthy of the title as the stock god of the universe. Meanwhile, the Demon Killer clan's skin had now risen to 3.3 Hun Yuan. But without hesitation, Luofeng immediately raised the bet to 3.9 yuan, a very high number if one wanted to get the Demon Killer clan's skin. This made the other bidders no longer dare to raise the price. Of course, Luofeng also managed to get the item he wanted. Meanwhile, Luohua, who managed to do his job very well, was scolded by his wife because he didn't respond when he was called to eat. He was too focused on raising stocks, bro. In the Qianwu auction, Luofeng managed to get all the items he wanted, including the Lanka fruit. Not long after, an officer who had previously managed Luofeng's administration when buying the earth made a call in a hurry. He reported that initially the officer intended to move from there, but suddenly his superiors investigated the earth data and planned to encourage Luofeng to negotiate with Nolan to determine who had the rights to the earth. The officer, who was also considered to have defended Luofeng, would later be interrogated. From the problems that occurred, Luofeng was very sure that there must be a responsible person behind the incident who was trying to provide assistance to Nolan. To continue the conversation, the officer then entered the street corners and said that according to the news, the person in charge was a person who was highly trusted by the 9th princess. Of course, after Bai Kaluo left Nolan and sided with Luofeng, he could no longer take the earth by force. However, Luofeng did not expect the relationship between Nolan and the 9th princess to be so close and continue until now. If Luofeng had refused the negotiation, then there was a possibility that the earth would be forcibly taken by a third party, namely the people of Lord 9th Princess. According to Hong, the Black Dragon Mountain Empire's decisions, influenced by their insiders, had now put the earth in an even worse condition when compared to the attack by Nolan Shan. Under such conditions, Luofeng asked, would it be possible for them to ask for help from a stronger party, for example, the Qianwu Kingdom or the Big Five organizations? Babata said it was unlikely that they would, but Lord Wu said it was possible. In fact, once every 10,000 years, one of the Big Five organizations, the Virtual Universe Corporation, will hold a huge event, and it will be the time when all the kingdoms in the universe will abide by the agreement to stop the war. At that time, of course, even the Black Dragon Mountain Empire would not act rashly. After picking up and looking at the information that Lord Wu was talking about, Babata understood that what Lord Wu was talking about was a big event called the Peak Genius Battle that would target star-level geniuses from all over the universe. The possibility of geniuses participating in the event was hundreds of trillions of people. After sorting out the few candidates who are deemed worthy, only then will they be eligible to join the Virtual Universe Company. A handful of fighters who are deemed worthy will be declared rare geniuses by the Virtual Universe Company. Although the chances of success were very small, if Luofeng and company succeeded, then the Black Dragon Mountain Empire would naturally no longer dare to mess with them. This was a big event that had very good benefits for the continuity of the Earth. So how could Luofeng and friends not participate? But the problem was, according to Lei Shen, considering the event was only held once every 10,000 years, when would the next event be held? In 2 years, Babata said that as long as they could wait until the period of the cessation of war, then the Earth would temporarily remain safe. And now all that needed to be done was to think of a way to buy time for the negotiations regarding the ownership of the Earth. From now on, Luofeng has asked all his colleagues not to skip training. To increase Hong's strength, Luofeng gave Hong 100 Lanka fruits. After Hong's rattan-rubbed cloud absorbed the essence of the fruit, at least the level of the plant could reach the 4th level universe level. The Demon Killer clan's skin was used to make Luofeng's second clone. Since the Demon Killer clan's body was at a higher level than a human clone's body, it would take several years for it to hatch and be used as a fighting force. And from now until the future, Yongshenbing will be Luofeng's main weapon. It was extremely difficult to be able to train each form of the divine weapon. Indeed, but from the power contained within, Luofeng could feel that his nickname as the strongest divine weapon was completely worth it. Practice and practice and practice, and then when is the sleep? That's what Luofeng and his Earth comrades did. Continue to practice intensely for the next 2 years, because they realized that in the current situation, who else can fight to protect the Earth if not them? Sometime later, the officer who provided assistance to Luofeng made a call because he kept getting pressure from his superiors for Luofeng to negotiate immediately and not delay him anymore. Meanwhile, Babata, who was currently searching for the 9th princess's contacts, recommended Luofeng contact the princess, asking for her help in inviting the negotiation process a bit to remove suspicion. If that was the case, according to Luofeng, why not just use a mecha race airship as a tool for bargaining? And of course, Babata was unwilling to agree. Although it could be done, delaying time by giving up the mechanical race's spaceship was extremely not worth it. Considering that the ship was formed from the super advanced technology of the mecha race and its performance was at the peak E level, it was even capable of attracting the attention of undying level warriors, but instead it was used to persuade the 9th princess. In the middle of the conversation, Bai Kaluo also said that Nolan had previously deliberately not told the Black Dragon Mountain Empire that there was a mecha race plane on Earth. Of course, Nolan deliberately hid this fact so that the Empire would not become one of his competitors to get the Earth. And even though Nolan made a big deal with the princess, Bai Kaluo was sure that Nolan still wouldn't reveal that one fact. Bai Kaluo's words further convinced Luofeng that they should use the mecha race plane to persuade the 9th princess. Expressing his opinion, Lord Wu said that it was likely that the spaceship exchange would only be a short-term peace. Once the mecha race plane that was the biggest bargaining chip on Earth was lost, then the Earth could easily be slaughtered by the other side. That is why they should not give it up. Lord Wu's thoughts were now in line with Babata's. Of course, Luofeng had already thought a little long, for him, as long as the Empire didn't actually send a fleet to take over the Earth. The mecha race spaceship also didn't necessarily have to be sent to them. Since 2 years would be a long time, they should use the plane as an inducement, although in the end, Luofeng's side would not give it away. Next, we will move on to the Black Dragon Mountain Empire, together with the princess and Hargrave's grandfather. When looking at the contents of the message sent by Luofeng, Hargrave didn't care if Nolan Shan had been deliberately hiding information about the mecha race's spaceship from their side, showing that Nolan Shan was very greedy and wanted to get everything by himself. While Luofeng is willing to exchange the plane for the sovereignty of the Earth, it must be deliberate to make the relationship between the Empire and Nolan tenuous. According to the 9th princess, although the problem between Luofeng and the Imperial Marshal team the other day is still unfinished, they must accept Luofeng's request first, considering that the mecha race plane has a very high value. Later, they can also get to the Earth easily. This woman is also cunning, but unfortunately, Princess Brolin's cunning has been read by our MC. Switching to the killing field with Luofeng, who is now getting a reply email containing that the Empire asked him to immediately send a spaceship to the Imperial Martial Arts team. And if not, then the appeal that Luofeng had previously sent would not be approved. It was clear that what the Empire was doing this time was aimed at determining if Luofeng would get a high profit on the ownership of the Earth. But still, the tribe preferred to have a negotiation session rather than have to give up the precious spacecraft. If that was the case, then they had to find another way to be able to buy time for another 2 years until the ceasefire period to stop the war arrived. Otherwise, they will lose everything. When Babata came up with an idea, she was interrupted by Lord Wu, who said that Luofeng still had imperial laws that they could use as bargaining chips. Don't forget that Luofeng is now the rightful owner of the Earth. Thus, the princess who came from the empire would not show blatantly if she had violated the law. Of course, this was what Babata wanted to say, but was preempted by AI Lord Wu first. To carry out his plan, Luofeng's side would first publicize through the universe's media channels that Princess Brolin had broken the laws set by the empire, where she had threatened citizens by using her status. This first step would make public opinion favor Luofeng. Then, after getting the email about the start of the negotiation, the second step began. In order to prevent Nolan and the Ninth Princess from invading, Luofeng had to emphasize in his negotiations that the security of planet Earth was currently under threat by showing videos of previous attacks carried out by Nolan's men. After considering the angry public opinion, the opponent will definitely not dare take impulsive actions such as invasion. Although it is only temporary, this effort can be applied to buy time. 2 years is indeed a very long time, but there is still time if you consider the mass of a substance that produces an attractive force. The gravitational field of a massive object will distort the void around it. The distortion caused by the attractive force field also includes time, just as the Earth and the Black Dragon Mountain Empire have a time difference. 2 years on Earth were equivalent to 2 months in the Empire. Of course, the time running in the Empire was somewhat slower. This is the theory of relativity put forward by Professor Albert Einstein, guys. The princess's ignorance of this is what they can use to buy time for as long as possible. Of course, in the end, the ownership of the Earth will be determined by the princess, and sooner or later she will be the one who regains the support of the public. But even if she manages to overcome all that, it's already too late, because the battle of genius is about to begin. As time passed, the advertisement for the big event of the peak genius battle also spread to all corners of the universe. Gao Sheng, who was still on the Dragon Star planet, was also very excited when he saw the advertisement for the big event. How could it not be? The event was like a big event because it was attended by billions of geniuses from all over the galaxy. Elsewhere, because the big event of the genius battle is about to begin, the princess can't help but wait until the ceasefire is over, and only then can she continue her operations that are still related to the Earth. And from here, she has the assumption that Luofeng, who has been stalling for time, aims to wait for this moment. The scene switched to where Luofeng was cultivating. After the Golden Horn broke through the universe level, the being now had the ability to create domains and was almost on par with Hong and Lei Shen's domains. In between, he also practiced the use of Yongshen Bing, or divine weapons. Having proficiently learned the form of the dark gold staff, Luofeng was now learning the illusion sword. Although it is still difficult at his current level, I believe that Luofeng will definitely be proficient in using it. Babata suddenly appeared and told him that in order to learn the movements of using the weapon, what Luofeng needed to do next was to deepen his understanding of how the universe worked, which was called the law of the origin of the universe. The principles of the universe could be learned more easily once Luofeng had a domain. That was why he had to become more skilled in using and increasing the power of his domain. It coincided with the start of the registration period for the Peak Genius Battle. It's a great event that we can't afford to miss, guys. To Luofeng, Hong, and Lei Shen, Babata shared a session on genius combat. In the first stage, 1,000 top star-level warriors would be selected from a total of 1,008 cosmic countries. The second stage was to gather all the warriors that had been gathered in the first stage, pitting their battles against each other until the top 1,000 remaining in the battle are finally selected. Those who can pass this stage will get a reward of 10 to 10,000 Hun Yuan, depending on the rank obtained. There is also an enlightenment quota, that can help them break through the universe. And finally, joining the core members of the virtual universe company. The rewards are very good. Not only did they get a lot of bonus money, but they could also join one of the biggest giant companies in the universe. And again, they also got the chance to break through the universe. Luofeng had heard that the place used to obtain such enlightenment was very different from the universe they occupied. In that place of enlightenment, one could obtain a faster rate of increase in strength. Babata asked Luofeng not to imagine the reward just yet, because right now there were already 100 billion applicants from the Qianwu Kingdom. And with the skills that Luofeng and company currently possessed, it was highly unlikely that they would be able to pass the first stage, let alone the second stage. Lord Wu said that all Luofeng and friends needed to do now was focus on completing the first stage first, because then they would definitely be rewarded and get the attention of the Qianwu Kingdom. Of course, the Qianwu Kingdom had a higher existence than the Black Dragon Mountain Empire, so Black Dragon Mountain wouldn't dare provoke it anymore. Thus, naturally, Princess Brolin would no longer dare do anything to Luofeng. The scene switched to the Empire, and while looking at the number of genius battle applicants that were still rising, Hargrave assumed that the ceasefire was definitely not Luofeng's only goal, but rather Luofeng intended to get help from a stronger existence through the genius battle selection path, until finally Princess Brolin could no longer do anything. In the Qianwu Kingdom alone, there were over 800 billion applicants, and only 1,000 of them could advance to the next stage. In order to get past the first stage, Princess Brolin wasn't sure that Luofeng and friends would bet on something that felt so impossible like that, even though there would only be a small hope left. Here, Hargrave wanted the princess to keep destroying the hope that Luofeng had built. Luofeng, who was playing with his son, received a message that the first selection stage of the genius battle was about to begin. Meanwhile, Nolan Shan said to all his troops that the Earth should have become the residence of the Nolan family if only Luofeng had not blocked his way by using a very genius trick. That's why, in the big genius battle event, Nolan would give the title of the next patriarch to whoever managed to finish off Luofeng. Luofeng really had many enemies, not just Nolan, but the Imperial team would also send 10,000 elites as participants. Hargrave asked all of them to find Luofeng there and teach Luofeng a lesson on how terrifying the power of the Imperial Martial team was. And remember, there are still geniuses that Luofeng certainly shouldn't miss. After pleading with his beloved family, Luofeng and his friends finally set out to finish the first stage of the genius battle. The stars that Luofeng was in at this time were still a preparation room for the Battle of Geniuses. Each participant would be taken to a different preparation place during the test period, and this time, there would be billions of participants for Luofeng to surpass. Would he succeed in doing so? After being sent to the designated room, Changbo immediately conveyed the rules of this first stage of the battle. In order to make it seem fair, the physical fitness and mental strength of each participant will be set to star level 9. This first stage will be divided into 2 rounds, namely the elimination pre-selection and the arena battle. In the pre-selection, the fighters will be screened again to enter the arena battle. In this phase, the Virtual Universe Company will divide 100 world zones, and each world will contain around 8.20 billion participants. They are required to fight each other to earn points. 1 kill, 1 point. If you die, the game over. This big event consists of more than 822 billion participants, and only a few will be able to enter the next round. Luofeng said this pre-selection round seems to be very cruel and bloody. The final scores for each region of the world would be calculated after 1,001 participants were left. Those who managed to get first place in this round of pre-selection would have the privilege of being excluded from the arena battle and directly advance to the second stage, and then the division of regions was done, along with the warriors sent to their respective locations.
规则介绍完毕，为好运。
While inside the world zone, all AI assistant functions would be disabled, which meant that Babata could not accompany Luofeng this time, nor could Babata force her way in as the battle arrangements were made by the virtual universe, which had a very strict system. According to Luofeng, all the people inside the genius battle basically had something extraordinary, such as world adventurous figures, talented people, having a great master, or perhaps also having a strong heart. Then, among the 820 billion fighters who participated in the event, to what point could Luofeng reach? And that's the ending of SwallowedStar series episodes 127 to 128 this time, guys. Thank you for those of you who have wanted to watch until the last minute, and the last word from me, bye.